Max, if you ever forget who you are, come back to this. New to the series? Welcome. Regular listener? Well, then I want you to take a moment and look at your son, sons, daughter, daughters, and just hit the pause button. We've reflected a lot over the last 60 plus episodes of what started out as a mini-series back in 2025. This week, I want you to take a note, either verbally, and record something or write something down. You can download it, save it somewhere, or write it out and place it in an envelope with your child's name on it. And then I want you to hold on to it. This week, next week, and the week after are opportunities for you to reflect on who they are and leave them something that'll bring you closer together, or something that they'll receive at some point in the future, or even just right now. We'll start with our youngest, and then we'll move on to each child individually, and then on to your partner. I'll be honest, I needed to do this. Life has been chaotic, challenging, not just full on at work, but home life has felt like it's flying by at record pace. Both boys are growing up so fast, and Henry is fighting to be treated like a teenager, and Maxie, well, he's getting swept up in that crazy world of school life. And their childhood, well, it feels like it's slipping through our fingers. So this week, I'm focusing on a message for Max, and I encourage you to do the same. Let the message give you renewed perspective on the realities of parenting your kids. Create a moment to be grateful, but most importantly, just reflect on the brilliance of those little people and the lives that you're shaping. Because sometimes this parenting gig, well, it's just hard. They fight you, they shout at you, and sometimes you don't see what the outside world is seeing. You see the worst, the best, the anger, the frustration, the uncertainty, the lack of confidence, the laughter, that caring nature of your kids, their defiance, their grumpiness, their love, warmth, and sometimes it's you that needs to take that step back from the chaos of raising children to see them for who they really are. So take a second before we jump in and answer me this. If you had a chance to share how you felt about your child or children, something that would light them up, something that would live with them, something that would underpin the way they feel about themselves, would you take that chance? Welcome back to Answer Me This, part of Fatherhood in Focus from the Modern Fatherhood Club. I'm Aidan, father of two, speaker and founder of the Modern Fatherhood Club. I started this movement because I believe that something has to change. Modern fatherhood has changed, but our preparation, well, it hasn't. Today, we're expected to be more present, more supportive, more emotionally available, and more involved than ever before. Yet most of us, well, we're expected to just figure it out as we go. We're expected to see what's on the horizon and plan for it, even when we're not clear on what is expected of us or what we need to do to meet the needs of those we love the most. You see, we prepare for exams, we prepare for our careers, for interviews, we prepare for marriage. But the greatest leadership role most of us will ever have is often the one that we're least prepared for. And that's why the Modern Fatherhood Club exists. Our mission, it's simple: preparing fathers, strengthening families, changing the future. Because every child deserves a prepared father. Not a perfect one, just a prepared one. Everything we create, from this podcast to our free resources, the Ultimate New Dad Toolkit, our programs, and our community, well, it's all built around one promise: helping you become the father your children need and the man that your family deserves. If you've listened or watched before, you know the score. Every week on Answer Me This, I get to ask you one question. Not because there's always a perfect answer, but because the questions you and I avoid are often the ones that shape the fathers that we become. Not just that though, every answer that you give, well, it can change how you think. And how you think, well, that changes who they see, it changes how you show up. Okay, let's jump in. I want you to use this as inspiration, a guide. It's not designed to be structured. It's a reflection on who they are now and who they're going to become. So here goes. Max, one day you might find this. Maybe I'll send it to you. Maybe you'll discover it years from now. Maybe I'll never know you've listened to it. But if you're hearing my voice, then this isn't really a podcast anymore. It's a conversation between a father and his son. And there's something I've wanted you to know for a long time. Not because I think I'll always be here to tell you, but because one day life is going to become noisy. People are going to tell you who to be, how to think, how to measure yourself, what success looks like, what kind of man you should become. And when that day comes, I want you to remember something. You were enough before the world ever had an opinion. You will always be enough. You must trust yourself when no one is looking, when no one is listening, when a challenge is standing in your way. So, I want you to answer me this. Who are you when nobody is telling you who to be? Because that's the man I hope you never lose. So Max, before the world reached you, when I think about you, I don't think about achievements. I don't think about school, sport, grades, money, or success. I think about your laugh, the way your whole body laughs, the way you run before you've decided where you're going, the way you throw yourself into life without wondering whether you'll look silly, the way you play, the way you immerse yourself in that world of creativity, your warmth, those cuddles, that innocence that comes with early childhood, that innocence as parents we're so desperate to keep hold of. You remind me that life was never supposed to be performed, just lived. That's the version of you that I hope survives, because somewhere along the way, while the world starts negotiating with children, be quieter, fit in, don't stand out, don't fail, don't be different, don't cry, don't ask too many questions, don't dream too big. Little by little, the world chips away at the very things that make you extraordinary. The world wants you to conform. One day, it'll fight you for your independence, and in exchange for security, it'll seek your spirit. You may have felt it in school. You may have felt your spark slowing, dimming. And see, that's my job. My job was never to stop the world. My job was to make sure you always had somewhere to come home to, that you always knew what lit you up, that you had the space to express yourself, that you never had to be something you were not. But it always had to be, and it remains, a place where you and I place our trust in one another, where we are able to feel safe, where we can express ourselves, where our light is always brightest. But Max, I need to tell you where I got it wrong. I need to tell you something honestly. There were times when I lost myself, not because I stopped loving you, not because I stopped loving your mum, but because I forgot who I was. I was so busy trying to find my place, deliver on my dream, that I made plenty of mistakes. I lost my patience. I reacted in the heat of the moment instead of staying calm. I lost myself in the hope of finding and pursuing what really made me tick. I chased approval. I thought success would finally make me feel enough. I climbed ladders that were leaning against the wrong walls. I brought home pressure instead of peace, silence instead of connection. There were evenings where my body was in the room and my mind, well, it was elsewhere. You probably won't remember them, but I will. Because fathers, well, they remember the moments they wish they'd shown up differently. But as I tried to wrestle with the time that was slipping by, I realized something. No promotion, no title, no achievement could ever replace hearing you laugh while I was fully present. Nothing could replace hearing you sing your songs, share your stories, or when you told me about your day, or you held my hand, or I got that one last cuddle before bed. And that became the turning point, because I stopped asking, how do I become successful? And I started asking, who do my boys need when I walk through the door? Now, I had to work every day on it. It was never easy because life is noisy. Your thoughts are difficult at times to switch off. Your attention, well, it's pulled from one thing to the next. But I promise you, I worked hard to be there in the room. I worked hard to be the man you needed to see. And my son, well, there are 5 things I hope you never forget. 5 things that can bring you back to where you need to be. 5 things I wish I'd learned much sooner. If life ever becomes confusing, come back to these. Not because they're perfect, but because they've been earned. So trust yourself before you trust the crowd. Crowds change, your social circle, and the people that add value and contribute to the man you are, that's going to change. Opinions change, fashion changes. The truth inside you usually whispers long before the world starts shouting. So listen to it. You've got to trust yourself. But you must also accept that from time to time, the biggest, loudest voice in the world, not in the room, is inside your head. It's the voice that's asking if you're ready, asking if you're capable of doing whatever it is you're trying to do. You must trust yourself, because the crowd is going to fuel the inner critic, and your biggest wins will come when you believe in yourself. So silence the doubt and step forward regardless. Now, the second thing is your values are worth more than your reputation. People can misunderstand you, judge you, leave you. But if you betray yourself, trying to keep everyone happy, you'll lose the one relationship that matters most. The one with yourself. And that's the one people on the outside, they don't understand. They don't want to understand. They don't want to accept. They'd prefer you to step into the shadows instead of stepping into the light. Be true to the boy or man you are and the person you're becoming. Your values will bring people closer to you and see you through the tough times, the losses, even the wins. They'll shape who people see. If people can't accept and respect who you are, then the question that you need to answer is whether those people will have your back when times get tough. Because life is hard. Relying on yourself is part of growing up. Responsibility for our feelings, failures, and success, well, it's part of who we become. But if the wrong people are in the room at the time when you need support, son, then the climb is much harder. Max, any failure is information. Nothing more, nothing less. I hope you miss shots. I hope you take risks, start businesses, love deeply, travel, build, fall over, get back up. Because I don't want you becoming careful with your potential. In life, there is a saying that you'll miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. It means, well, you cannot succeed if you never try. It means that when you don't trust yourself, you'll never discover what's in the future. It also means dedication and discipline. And if you trust those 2 things, then you'll have a chance to do something. What that is, well, that's for you to decide. All I want for you is this. I want you becoming comfortable with uncertainty. The men who change the world, well, they rarely avoid failure. They simply refuse to let it define them. And that's who you are. That's who you have the chance of becoming. So if we look at number 4, it's this. Character is what you do when no one is watching. Not because someone might find out, but because you'll know. It's what you do when it's quiet. It's the work behind the scenes, that extra practice, that extra focus, the way you speak to yourself, the way you conduct yourself, the values that hold you steady in that storm. Integrity isn't public, it's deeply personal. Every decision shapes the man that you become. Character is who you become, not just in the good times, but in the hard times too. And son, I know with you that character is strong-willed, self-assured, spirited, confident, warm, loving, trustworthy, strong, passionate, proud, and comfortable with who you are. Our character isn't defined by what others think. Our character is the backbone of the man that you see in that mirror, the man others see but don't fully understand. And that's not for you to worry about. Your character will stand the test of time. Trust yourself, love yourself, believe in yourself. And this last one is the one that I had to work hardest on. Never become someone you wouldn't enjoy coming home to. The world will reward performance, but family never will. Your children one day, your partner, your friends, they don't need the most impressive version of you. They'll need the most honest one, the real one, the one capable of downing tools and immersing himself in the rawness of the world his children thrive in. Your partner one day will need you to be a fine man, a strong man, a passionate and loving man, a man capable of emotional connection, a man willing to listen, to hear what's being said, to stop before he loses his patience, to pause and let the world around him spin whilst he focuses on what truly matters. We're all capable of something, but giving our children and our family what they need is something that we have to work on day in and day out. Just remember this, who they see, or that person, he shapes who they become. So Max, here's what I believe about you. There are going to be moments when you doubt yourself. Everyone does. But don't confuse doubt with truth. I know something about you that you may forget. You are stronger than your fear, kinder than you realize, more capable than you'll ever give yourself credit for. I've watched you fight. I've watched you laugh after falling over. I've watched you switch from tears to laughter in an instant. I watched you love those closest to you with incredible warmth and without condition. I've watched you stand back up without anyone asking you to. That's not something I taught you. That's already inside you. You were born to build something incredible, born to reach the highest of highs and defeat the lowest of lows. You were born from immense power, born into this world to become the man that you were always destined to be. My role, it wasn't to build you, it was to protect you for as long as I could, because you were born powerful. The world slowly teaches you otherwise, and I refused to let the world do that. I wanted something unique for you, the strength to see the good and the bad, to see the warmth and the coldness of others, the strength to see what you can become, the trust to let you find your own path, trust your instinct and fight your battles. Because when life gets hard and people let you down, I believe you are capable of seeing through it all, focusing on what matters and building something spectacular anyway. So son, if you ever lose yourself, and it will happen, because life is noisy and complicated, you'll make mistakes, you'll trust the wrong people, you'll question your decisions, you'll wonder whether you're enough. When that happens, come home. Not necessarily to this house. Come home to yourself. Come back to the values you know, to kindness, integrity, curiosity, courage. Trust the man, trust the process. Trust that your input will deliver the output. Come home to the little boy who laughed before he worried about looking foolish. Because he's always there. It won't always feel like it, but he's always there. It's the world that's pushing you to forget. But that little boy who lit up our world, he always will be there inside you. Always be ready when you need him. And as we bring this conversation to a close, here's something I need you to hear. I can't promise life will be fair. I can't promise you'll never get hurt. I can't promise that you won't fail. I can't promise that person you love won't break your heart, or that job you love won't chew you up and spit you out. I can't promise others won't try to use you or get something without giving something in return. But I can promise you this. You will never have to earn my love. Not with grades, not with money, not with success. Not by becoming someone impressive. Not by making me proud. You already did that the day I met you. The day I held you for the first time. Because Max, you and Henry, you saved me. You gave me something I needed. Not love, not warmth, but strength, passion, purpose. For me, everything after that first day has simply been watching one of the greatest privileges of my life unfold. Watching you become you. Watching you listen to your heart. Watching you realize what true happiness is. One day, people will ask you what kind of man your dad was. I hope your answer isn't that I was successful or strong or respected. I hope you simply say, he made me believe I could trust myself. Because if I've given you that, then I've given you something no one can ever take away. And if one day you forget everything I've said, remember this sentence. Don't spend your life trying to become someone worthy of love. Spend your life remembering you always were. I love you, mate. Always. No matter who you become or where life takes you, I'll always be dad. And you'll always be my little boy. Thank you. Now, I told you it would take a different spin this week. Next week is going to be the same, and the week after. What I want you to take from this is you owe it to them to spell out how much you love them, how proud you are. Doesn't matter what they've done, doesn't matter what they do, doesn't matter who they become. You've shaped that life. Your strength, your passion, it will flow into their lives. Your mistakes will too. The challenges that you face and don't overcome will shape your interactions. They will influence how you show up in the moment. But every day your kids need to know that you love them, that you trust them, that you believe in them. Because the world will try and tear them down. It will try and make them conform. Your role is to give them that steel to protect their heart, their soul, their passion, their love for life, that zest for life that makes them unique. That's our role. That's what modern fatherhood is about. It's learning from mistakes. It's setting standards. It's creating a space for our children to become incredible. So if you take anything from today, take a moment to reflect on the impact that your children are having on your world. Because there is chaos, there is noise. It's unrelenting at times. But there are moments in every day which are remarkable. It's those moments that not only bring you closer together, it's those moments that create that bond. It's those moments that light you up too. So if there's one thing that you take away, your children, they're not going to remember every word you said. They'll remember, though, how you made them feel. They'll remember whether you were present, whether you listened, and whether you kept showing up. That's why the work that we do in this series matters. So as always, write it down, dive into the detail, create something so powerful and unique that you cannot wake up and not move toward it. These episodes are all designed to get to the core of the man that you are. And reflecting on a message to your son or daughter, it can become a powerful reset or even a line in the sand. It might even help you realize some things need more effort, more time, some reflection. It fills your cup just as much as theirs. Remember, if you get this right, they're going to live how you lived, love how you loved, listen the way that you did, prioritize the way that you did, and show up in the lives of those they love just like you did. That's the role of the modern dad. stability, strength, passion, perseverance, pride, and above everything, love. At the Modern Fatherhood Club, we are on a mission to prepare fathers, strengthen families, and help change the future, because every child deserves a father who's ready to lead with love, courage, and intention. If today's episode gave you something to think about, please subscribe, leave a review, or share it with another dad. One conversation can change a father, but that father, he can change a family. Now, if you're ready to go further, visit the Modern Fatherhood Club for free resources, the ultimate new dad toolkit, our programs, and practical support designed to help you prepare, not just react to fatherhood. Thank you for investing in yourself, your family, and your future. Until next time, keep preparing, keep showing up, because the father you become shapes the childhood they remember. I'll see you in the next episode.